Hi everyone, it's me, Charani. First of all, I just want to say Happy New Year, and I hope that y'all are staying safe and social distancing yourselves. Before I get started, I just want to say that this first short story that I'll be reading to y'all is a folk tale that pretty much I grew up hearing from my parents, my grandparents, aunts and uncles. It's been told orally, and there's many different versions to this folktale in particular. I've kind of combined all the folktales of this particular story into one kind of short story. I'm not trying to say that this is the correct story of the folktale, but it is one of the many versions that I've kind of put together, and I've also kind of combined with other inspirations into the kind of short story that it is right now. I know that there are folks out there who have heard of this particular folk tale and may assume that, oh, you know, I've heard one that's so not like that. But I'm just trying to say that this is kind of the folk tale that I heard growing up, kind of inspired to write about, and mostly just kind of twisted around a little bit. This is mostly just for me to write for fun and for me to kind of just read to y'all for fun. I'm not in any way trying to disrespect the folk tale. It is very much an oral folk tale, so then there is a lot of different versions of this folk tale. And so I hope that when y'all are reading this, just to keep in mind that it's mostly just fiction. Yeah, that's all I just wanted to say before I start reading this particular folk tale. So without further ado, let's get started. The Sun and the Moon. Long before life on Earth, there was many moon and sun people. The moon and the sun tribes are enemy. They were as different as day and night, hot and cold. These two tribes were never meant to stay in one sky. Hmoob, a daughter of the sun, grew up believing that the moon people would bring long nights of bitter coldness and eternal darkness. Hmoob, son of the moon, was taught that the sun people will create an endless wildfire and burn other planets and stars to death. Their bickering hatred for each other had no boundary, and other planets have grown weary of their constant differences. Upon hearing the plea of other stars and planets' mercy for an end amongst the sun and moon's feud, the creator, Yeshao, asked the moon and sun tribe to offer one of their people to be disciples of Shao, until Shao finishes their creation of life on Earth. The two chosen ones will have the honor of serving Shao's creation and bring life upon an empty Earth. Hmoob and Hmoob was chosen from the tribes to dutifully serve their creator in the higher realm, in hopes that the sun and moon tribes will someday see eye to eye. In the high realm, Hmoob and Hmoob did not like each other. Like their tribe, their hatred for each other was profound. Shao believed that in order for two very different people to come to terms, they must experience the destruction that they can cause on others. And so, Shao worked for 3 days and nights to finish building Earth. When he finished, Shao told Hmoob and Hmoob, "I have grown tired of your tribe's differences, and so I have completed Earth. You two are to duel until a winner is proclaimed. Fight until one dies or until someone surrenders," said Shao. Hmoob and Hmoob happily obliged to the creator's declaration. Shao sent them down to Earth to fight. When they arrived on the planet, they saw the beautiful life thriving on that planet. The trees had grown to enormous lengths and sizes. The animals and plants relying on each other, and Shao's first creation of humans living in harmony and building civilization. But their appreciation for the beauty of Shao's creation was soon reminded of the reason why Shao sent them to Earth in the first place. With their minds focused and ingrained on the idea of a true winner, and in the name of their tribe, Hmoob and Hmoob fought with all their might. Unleashing their powers onto the land, they fought for many days, and after 6 months of endless battles, their powers had exhausted them. When Gonu and Dahli took a moment to catch their breath, they could smell the unpleasant burning, the soot raining from above, and darkness engulfed around. They saw the destruction they had brought upon the innocent lives of the creatures, the fear, the death, and the suffering that the innocents must live on because of Gonu and Dahli's selfishness. Shao appeared in front of them with a smile on their face. "Why stop your fighting? These creatures shouldn't get in the way of your family feud," said Shao. Gonu and Dahli felt a knife pierce through their heart. Their eyes could not look away from the anguish of these humans and animals that had lost their lover, their young ones, or their family. Without any warning, they started to cry with the humans and animals. They cried with guilt and remorse for the wrong they have caused, and their tears soon began to cleanse Earth and recreate life again. After Earth was rebuilt, Shao returned with Gonu and Dahli to their high realm. Gonu and Dahli vowed to never fight again and protect innocent lives. They began to become friends, but their friendship soon turned into something more. They fell in love. After a few centuries, Gonu and Dahli returned home to be welcomed by their family. The two lovers wanted to tell their family all the wonderful things that they have seen, learned, and grown from, but they soon realized that it may be harder to change the mind of skeptics than they thought. Despite their family feud, Gonu and Dahli remained loyal to each other, and the lovers thought that through time and space, their family can also learn to live among each other. Each day they would try to persuade their family to forgive each other, but their family refused. The two tribes began to have suspicions of their own of the lovers' sudden change in attitude. One evening, as the lovers sneaked out to meet each other on Earth, their families followed them to discover that their children had fallen in love. Enraged by this scene, the two tribes waged war amongst each other. The battle was ruthless. The families had used their children's love as an excuse to go to war. Gonu and Dahli realized their love had only driven the Sun and Moon tribe to an endless war that affected many other stars and planets. Gonu and Dahli knew well the devastation of a useless argument, and so Gonu and Dahli traveled to the end of the universe to meet with Shao, who was unaware of the war. "My dear children, what brings you two here today?" asked Shao. "Dear Shao, a terrible war has fallen upon the Sun and Moon tribe, and the war has caused the other planets to die. Please stop our family," begged the lovers. When Shao heard what the Moon and Sun people had done to his beloved creations, Shao was enraged. He then returned to the lovers and gave them a task that would test their loyalty to Shao. "You both know better than anyone the horror that befalls a war with war. I made you all different because I thought you all could learn to love each other. I waited for the Sun and Moon people to open their eyes by allowing you two to be my disciples, but even you two could not get through to them. I'm afraid because your family may never know the true meaning of love, I order you two to destroy your tribes," said Shao in anger. Gonu and Dahli was faced with a predicament, but they have seen and felt the pain and suffering of those who die by their selfish hands, and so together Gonu and Dahli killed their family. When they had killed the last family members, Shao offered Gonu and Dahli an honorary title to be the overseer of Earth's thriving life forms. Although their hearts were still filled with heavy guilt of killing their family, they both knew deep down in their heart that if they did not stop the tribes from ceasing war, the battle would have been devastating. Gonu and Dahli was recognized for their loyalty toward Shao, and as promised, Shao gave the lovers the job of overlooking life on Earth. But little did they know that the job wasn't all as they expected. "You both shall overlook my children on Earth. Gonu will give them light, for the creatures to thrive, while Dahli will give them night, to sleep and rest their strength. But like your family, the Sun and Moon people cannot live in one sky," said Shao. "Then how will we meet?" asked Dahli desperately. Shao, who showed no compassion for their forbidden love, grinned with no care. "You two cannot meet like you used to, because now I only have one sun and one moon. You two have already promised your duty to the creatures of life. If you two go back on your words, the beings that you both have vowed to protect will die. The lovers were devastated by the news. They could not meet like how they once used to, and so, committing to their words, Gahnu and Dahli watched the creatures on earth fall in love, have children, and die with their loved ones. When the people on earth saw how lonely their sun and moon was, the people devised a lie and went to Shao. Dear Shao, when the sun and moon rise over the horizon, we cannot see them. It is hard to tell time. Please, give us a hammer, powerful enough to break the boulders blocking the horizon, begged the people of Earth. Shao, who loved all its children blindly, followed their request and gave them a hammer. The people then descended down to Earth, and with one swing, they hit the boulders that crumbled down into many mountains. And so, when Gahnu was setting and Dahli was rising over the horizon across the earth, they saw each other for the first time in the decade. The people had made it possible for the two lovers to meet for a brief moment. And to this day, the sun and moon still rise and set, just so they could see one another again. And so, the story of the sun and moon has come to an end. Alright, that was my first short story series called The Sun and the Moon. Thank you very much, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!